Okay, so now we come to alignment errors, of which the first is cosine error. So what is cosine error? The cosine error is caused by the standard of measurement or the scale being misaligned with the object to be measured. For example, here capital L is the length of this object and we are trying to measure that. But unfortunately, keep the scale at a small angle theta with respect to this object size. So what we measure, so we will be viewing the scale from here and here. So what we will obtain as a measurement is small l. But what we actually want is capital L. So capital L is equal to small l cos theta. So this is the relation between the correct length and the apparent measured length small l. So the true length is related to cosine. So that is why we call this a cosine error. So the cosine error is caused by misalignment of the scale with the object being measured or the line of measurement. So this is the true length. Capital L is the true length of the object. Small l is the measured length. So measurement error is measured quantity value, which is small l, minus the true quantity value is just capital M. So now substituting, the cosine error is equal to L into 1 minus cos theta. Okay, we will apply this to a small problem. So what is the cosine error? While measuring a shaft of diameter 20 mm with the micrometer misaligned by an angle of 1 degree, very small angle. Usually it will be much more. So simple substitution in the previous formula, E equal to L minus L cos theta, and after solving we get cosine error as 3.046 microns. So just note the value of the cosine error. How much is the cosine error? So for a misalignment of 1 degree, with the object being about 20 mm, cosine error is about 3 microns. Okay, micron is 10 raised to minus 3 mm or 10 raised to minus 6 meter. Next is sign error. So sign error is caused by misalignment of the contact face. So the face of the measuring instrument, when it contacts the workpiece, if there is some misalignment, that will cause sign error. So here capital L is the true object length, small l is the measured apparent length, small l. The contact face is of radius A, or half the contact width is A, and the contact face is misaligned by the workpiece surface through an angle theta. Then capital L equal to small l minus this small triangle. Theta is this side, so the vertical distance is a sine theta. So the measurement error E equal to measured quantity value minus the true quantity value L. So capital L equal to L minus A sin theta. Substituting, the measurement error is A sin theta. So it's proportional to the sine of the angle between the contact face and the object face. So this error is called sine error because it's proportional to the sine of the angle of misalignment. So cosine error, sine error. So now let us do a problem using sine error. So what is the sine error if an anvil of 5 mm width is misaligned by 1 degree? So the anvil size is required to estimate the sine error. So angle of misalignment is given. So it is from the previous formula, just substituting, equal to 2.5 sine 1. That is 0.044 mm. So what do you see from the answer? So how much was the cosine error in the previous problem? Around 3 microns. How much was the thermal expansion error? For about 1 inch, also about 3 microns. But how much is the sine error for a size of annual size of 5 mm? 0.044 mm. That is 44 microns. So this is much bigger than both thermal error and cosine error. So this is more important. So you have to take special care to avoid sine error. Okay. So now let us do a problem. Okay. So now here this problem we combine both sine error and cosine error. So whenever we use a measuring instrument to measure an object, so there will be a misalignment of the scale, and there will also be a misalignment of the contact face. So both happen together. So what is the total error while measuring a shaft of diameter 20 mm with the micrometer misaligned by an angle of 1 degree if the anvil has a diameter of 5 mm? So the sine error depends on the size of the contact face. So if you reduce the size of the contact face, the sine error is reduced. So we should try to minimize the size of the contact face, because the minimum size is for a point contact. But okay, later we'll see point contact has another problem. So point contact, sine error is minimum, but another error will increase. Elastic deformation errors will increase for point contact. So that's why we don't usually use a point contact. So total error. So you have to understand the situation and draw the situation neatly to identify what is the formula for the true length. So the true length is capital D. So misalignment angle is 3 degrees, theta degrees. The measured length is capital L. So we have errors on both sides. So the total error will be twice the error at a single end. So you can easily calculate the formula. capital D equal to capital L cos theta. So that will be from this point to this point minus the small distance on either side, that is small d sin theta. So what is small d? Small d is the diameter of the contact face. So capital D is the true diameter, L is the apparent diameter, small d is the anvil dia, then the sign error is 0.0873 mm. Okay, this is only the sign error, that is d sin theta, and cosine error is 0.003 mm, so that is L cos theta. And the total error will be sum of the two, that is 0.0903 mm. So we can see the sign error is the biggest contributor of the total error. Okay, so this problem is clear how to do. So for the exam, we'll have different questions with different geometries. There will be slight changes here and there. So you will have to estimate the misalignment error, sine and cosine error. Okay, any question?
Sir, can you show the question once?
Okay, all it is there in the handouts. So what is the total error while measuring a shaft of diameter 20 mm with a micrometer misaligned by an angle of 1 degree? If the anvil has a diameter of 5 mm. So micrometer anvil is around 5 mm. So the different makes, there will be slight differences, but around 5. So misalignment angle, we are assuming it is 1 degree. So what will be the total error if the shaft diameter is 20 mm?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now we come to another misalignment error, which is called Abbe offset error. So this is a combination of sine error, cosine error, and an offset. So first of all, let us see what is Abbe's principle. So this is a principle used for measuring instrument design. So according to Abbe's principle, the maximum accuracy may be obtained only when the standard is in line with the axis of the part being measured. So the maximum accuracy can be obtained only if the standard is in line with the axis of the part. It should be coaxial. So this is called Abbe's principle. And who was Abbe? So Ernst Abbe, 1840 to 1905. So 1861 got a PhD from Göttingen University, joined as teaching staff at University of Jena, Germany, and 1866 became research director of the Zeiss Optical Works. So Zeiss, where have you heard? So our lab, we are having Zeiss optical profile projector, Zeiss toolmakers microscope, etc. So 1868, he developed an apochromatic lens system for the microscope. So apochromatic. So chromatic is concerned with color. So different colors, the if the amount of refraction is different. So the image will not be in focus. So how can we make the image to be in focus? So that is his idea. Okay, so that is Ernst Abbe. So 1870, professor of physics and mathematics at Jena. 1873, paper describing mathematics of the compound microscope, so with two lenses. 1876, he was made partner of the firm by Carl Zeiss. So they became joint owners. In 1891, they started the Carl Zeiss Foundation. So what is the importance of this Carl Zeiss Foundation? So they were working for the welfare of the employees of the organization. And 1896, they introduced 8-hour working day. So you should have to work only for 8 hours. And they also introduced sick pay and pensions. So they were a very progressive company. So just like government companies, in private sector also they were giving pensions. So that is why they are famous. So they are in Europe, they had a very favorable climate towards employee benefits. Okay, so with that, so that is about Abbe. So Abbe said that the maximum accuracy is obtained only when the standard is in line with the axis of the part being measured. Now let us see some examples, whether they follow Abbe's principle or not. So for example, vernier caliper. So where is the scale? The scale is here. Okay, so digital instruments. So here, these are all capacitance based. So we have a capacitance material here, and as the sliding jaw is moved, so it counts the change in capacitance as it is moved. And where is the workpiece kept in the vernier caliper? Of course, vernier caliper has several jaws. So we have the external jaws, internal jaws, depth rod. So depending on the application, you can use many jaws. But for this external jaw, so this is the line of measurement. So the object to be measured is usually placed here. So here the width is narrow. So that is one advantage, but here the width is a little more. So many times we prefer to use this edge for measurement. So is this in accordance with the Abbe's principle? So Abbe's principle says that the object being measured and the scale should be coaxial, should be in the same line. But unfortunately, they are not in the same line. So this does not conform to Abbe's principle. And next is micrometer. So micrometer, the object to be measured is placed here. And what is the measuring principle? So we are comparing with the rotation of the screw. So we rotate this thimble and the screw moves along an axial direction. So the scale is, so we are comparing with the pitch of the screw. So the scale of measurement is the screw, so which is in line with the object we measured. Therefore, the micrometer fully conforms to Abbe's principle. So that is the advantage of the micrometer. So that is why the micrometer is inherently a more accurate instrument compared to the vernier caliper. vernier caliper does not conform to Abbe's principle, whereas the micrometer conforms to Abbe's principle. So what is Abbe's offset? So the distance between the two lines, the standard of measurement and the workpiece, the line of measurement on the workpiece, the distance between the two, measure this length. If you place the scale here, then this distance is called Abbe offset. So how much is the error due to this offset? Let us try to calculate. So for example, in a vernier caliper, so the movable jaw may be tilted like this, and this is the object being measured. If this angle is theta, so the actual dimension is this. What we are get is this. What we read from the vernier caliper will be this. Okay, so this is the measured length. This is the true length. And what will be this? The distance between the scale and the object desired line of measurement. That is the Abbe offset dy, distance y. So Abbe offset error will be measured length minus the true length, Lm minus Lt. And from geometry, this is equal to dy tan theta. So Abbe offset is given by Abbe offset into tan of the misalignment, tan theta. So if you can ensure that this is always parallel, then there may not be any effect. Okay, so a numerical problem. In a vernier caliper, the object is kept 50 mm away from the beam. The moving jaw is misaligned with the fixed jaw by an angle of 0.1 degree. Compute the Abbe error. So simple substitution, 0.08 mm, we can verify. Okay, if I wait, you will not respond, so I'll skip. Okay. This is one more principle, Braham principle, I will skip that. Not so much accepted. Okay, then we come to parallax error. Parallax error occurs because of the necessity to allow free movement between the scale and the object being measured. So if we keep the scale in contact with the workpiece, the scale or the needle, then there will be friction. So we have to allow some space for movement. So that results in parallax error. The pointer has to be some distance above the scale. If the pointer is not observed normal to the scale, then there will be an error. If you are observing normally, then there may not be any error. Okay, so this error is called parallax error. For example, here, see many electrical instruments like voltmeter and all, we have this sort of a setup. So there is a scale in front of which a needle moves. So this is the distance between the pointer and the scale. So when the eye is in the correct position, the reading will be correct. But if the eye is in this position or this position, then the reading may be different. Okay. So this is called parallax error. So one simple technique to avoid parallax error is to place a mirror behind the scale, and you have to view such that the pointer and the image of the pointer in the mirror, they are coinciding. Then we can ensure that the pointer is, or we are viewing the pointer normal to the scale. Okay, so that is one mirror behind a scale is a technique used to reduce parallax error in many, especially electrical instruments. This is very common. Then in mechanical instruments like micrometer also, we have this parallax error. So that is because of the thickness of this. So we have this main scale and we have this rotating thimble over the main scale. And this has to have some thickness. If it is zero thickness, then there won't be any material. So that thickness results in parallax error. So depending on your eye position, whether it's here, then it is okay. If you are looking at like this, there will be a different reading. If you look like this, you'll get this as the reading. So, okay, here they have made this reference line not at the center, but shifted it sideways to show this different positions. So you may get different readings. But of course, the least count of a micrometer is quite big, so it is not so easy to read the next division. But if you are going for a vernier micrometer, then this becomes important. So I think I think you are doing now that quiz. You are going to do the quiz on toolmaker's microscope, where you have a micrometer with a vernier division. Okay. So in that, this is important. But of course, when you are taking a photograph, this problem will not there. So if you really take a measurement, then this parallax could be a problem. Okay. So that is parallax error. Next, we come to a whole class of errors called elastic deformation error.